And as those ceasefire talks press on, we can now report that Secretary of State Antony Blinken will travel to the Middle East next week. He will be in Egypt, Israel, Jordan, and Qatar. And joining me now, New Jersey Democratic Congressman Josh Gottheimer. He serves on the Intelligence Committee and is the co-chair of the Problem Solvers Caucus. Congressman, welcome to you, sir. So, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will be addressing a joint meeting of Congress that'll happen July 24th. And as you well know, several Democrats in the House and Senate have already indicated they plan to boycott that speech over their objections to Netanyahu's handling of the war in Gaza. First of all, will you attend the Prime Minister's address to Congress?
I will, and I would say to my colleagues, this is about the United States and Israel, not about any individual leaders, and a key relationship, as you know, a key ally for us in the fight against terror, including Iran and other Iranian-backed proxies like Hamas or Hezbollah or Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And I think hearing from a key foreign ally like Israel is critically important.
What do you say to the growing opposition and the polarization within your own party?
Broadly speaking, I mean, I think we should focus on our objectives here. Let's not forget that on October 7th, 44 Americans were killed. 5 Americans remain hostage, including one of my constituents, Adon Alexander, who lives in Tenafly, New Jersey. I think we need to do everything we can to get the hostages home, to obviously stop the terrorists, and of course to continue surging humanitarian aid into the region. We know that Egypt and others right now are actually stumbling blocks to getting the aid in to the region. We need to do everything we can to surge aid. And I think as part of, as you know, as the president talked about, in the agreement that Israel is backing, that we've yet to hear, as was just pointed out, we've yet to hear from Hamas on. Part of that will be this pause and, of course, getting aid into the region, which I think is essential.
Well, to that end, sir, a week ago, with the president having announced that ceasefire and the hostage proposal that he says Israel agreed to, let's listen to what he told ABC News while in Normandy yesterday. Here it is.
Is Benjamin Netanyahu listening to you?
I think he's listening to me. They were going to go into Rafah full bore, invade all of Rafah, go into the city, take it out, move with full force. They haven't done that. And what they've done is they've agreed to a significant agreement that if, in fact, Hamas accepts it, and look, it's being backed by Egypt, being backed by the Saudis, being backed by almost the whole Arab world. We'll see. This is a very difficult time.
Congressman, do you see evidence that the Prime Minister is responding to the pressure from the U.S. and other countries? Is he taking action reflecting that pressure?
I think they're clearly taking a more targeted approach. You know, you've got to understand, which I think gets lost here, is that every single day, Israel continues to take incoming from terrorists, Hamas, Palestinian Islamic Jihad, Hezbollah in the north, right? These rockets continue to be fired at their citizens, right? And the Hamas has not stopped trying to kill IDF soldiers and Israelis. So, you know, Israel is responding to those attacks. And, you know, I believe you're seeing more constructive dialogue going on between our countries. And listen, we understand our objectives, right? Which tomorrow Hamas could surrender. They could actually come out of the tunnels where they are, where they're keeping hostages, and including Americans, and they could lay down their weapons and we could end this. But no one talks about that. And I think at the end of the day, Iran and their proxies continue to fire at Americans, right? The Houthis, their proxies in the Red Sea, continue to fire at Americans. From Iraq and from Syria, we've lost American soldiers, and our interests are being attacked. This is, remember, Iran is an enemy of ours, as the government of Iran, along with Russia and China and North Korea, focused on doing harm to democracy and to our interests. So we shouldn't lose sight of the fact that these are terrorists, that Hamas is a terrorist organization. They're using innocent Palestinians as human shields and continue to. Right. And that's what their MO has been all along. We need to do everything we can to get this pause, to get more aid in, and to make sure we crush the terrorists.
All right. Congressman Josh Gottheimer, thank you for sharing that perspective, and thank you for being with us.